Hello and welcome everyone. This is Dr. George Gonzalez, and today we're going to be talking about the secret behind elite performances, personal bests, and top honors at state, national, and world venues. Hi, I'm Dr. George Gonzalez. I'm the founder of Quantum Neurology, and for the last 20 years, I've been training doctors how to get the most out of the nervous system, how to get the best healing out of the nervous system. And in most cases, we're talking about people who are damaged and how to recover them into normal function. But in those certain instances where we're dealing with people who are well, how do we get the most out of their nervous system? How do we get the highest level of performance out of their system that's absolutely possible? And our answer in quantum neurology is by fine-tuning and strengthening the neurology of the body. And when we do this, the secret to maximizing human performance is nerve training. Now, this is an entire concept. This principle applies to everybody, whether we're talking about mom or grandma who just wants to be more flexible. Maybe they do stretching or yoga. The weekend warrior that goes out there, lives it back up and on the weekends between, whenever possible. And then you have those group of people who are amateur all the way to elite athletes that work on the state, national, world stage events. This concept applies to everybody with the nervous system. But ultimately, we need to have somebody of the highest level to really amplify the nervous system. And when these levels, this is one of the techniques that really brings out the most in the athlete. And so let me tell you concepts and a few stories, because I know if you're like me, you want to know what's the best, what's the answer to get the fastest running, longest jumping, and all the different things that are aspects of it. Ultimately, it comes down to strengthening the holographic nervous system. And that's what we teach at quantum neurology. But specifically in the technique that we call GMRT, Gonzalez Muscle Reset Technique, what are we doing? We're changing the length of the muscle. We're adding length to that muscle's capability. And then through that length, we're strengthening it throughout its range of motion. So we're doing a lot of things. And what does that mean when we're talking about an individual muscle? It means that muscle set point, it reaches a certain length, then it's considered, right? And you could stretch, and you'll gain on that, maybe an inch or two on your gain when you stretch. But as soon as you cool off, boom, that muscle goes back to its shortened state. I'm not talking about stretching. I'm talking about changing the set point of that muscle. So you begin at a new length. You could stretch on top of that, but you are beginning with a functioning new length in muscle. And this is a neurological event that I invented, and I share this through our GMRT training, Gonzalez Muscle Reset Technique. So again, this concept applies to everyone with the nervous system. Anytime somebody wants to gain in flexibility, anytime that somebody wants to gain in strength, we are able to use this principle to amplify that nervous system's ability to be able to do that. And the beauty of it, it happens very quickly. It happens within seconds. Any muscle group we're working in, usually in about 30 seconds, you can maximally lengthen that muscle. So now that's talking about it on a muscle level. What happens when we do this as a strategy with somebody of caliber when it comes to athletic performance? When we're talking about any athletic performance that's measured, running, for example, if we could gain an inch on their stride and have strength through that range of motion gained, that's an inch gained per step on that athlete's run? Do you think that they're going to run faster? Do you think that they're going to perform at their best? Do you think they're going to be able to deliver above and beyond what they were doing before this technique was done? So this is a secret behind the personal best, the record performances, the state, national, and world level games. You know, this is the technique behind all this, and it's extremely powerful when we start talking about doing this to specific muscle groups to help gain in the athletic performance of the athlete. Also in the strengthening of the nervous system through its range of motion. So we're combining a few different QN principles here. The first principle is we need to address is the myotomes. The myotomes need to be strengthened and brought to neutral in order to get the best performance that I'm talking about here. So for those of you that have already learned that work, the myotomes, for those that it's may be new, myotomes are the nerve levels of the spine. And we have a neurological testing and strategies for rehabilitating and strengthening those actions that are not firing appropriately. Now, in quantum neurology, when we strengthen those, we bring somebody to what we call as neutral. Now, from neutral, we're able to make changes within the nervous system and reset its patterning. So with athletic performance, once the myotomes are in neutral, specifically for this technique, then we have access to be able to lengthen those specific muscle groups that we want to work with. And again, each muscle or muscle group will take about 30 seconds to correct. We want to balance the person right and left side. So on a minimum on each session you're going to do is 2, one on the right, one on the left, whatever muscle group you're working with. And then depending on time and the patient's ability, you could do more muscle groups, you know, circumstance dictates. So ultimately with this technique, what's the desire? Why are we doing this technique? It's because we want to increase flexibility. We want to increase strength and stability throughout range of motion, and we want to improve control. And these are all the things that happens when we do this strategy. This strategy, it also includes the strategy of lengthening the muscle that I've been talking about, GMRT, but also erase. Erase is the strengthening through range of motion that I teach in Module 2 normally. So when we're teaching this in concept, we're going to be teaching the myotomes, we're going to be teaching the GMRT, and then we're going to be including the erase principle. And this is going to give you a very strong foundation in the ability to strengthen, increase somebody's range of motion and strengthen their range of motion to achieve amazing results in their outcomes and their ability to achieve personal bests. And when we're talking about the elite performers, you know, every millimeter counts, every microsecond counts. So this is a type of technique that will help deliver in those areas. If you're the type of doctor like myself who likes to know how to deliver these level results, find out more about GMRT, and we look forward to seeing you soon.